Thanks so much for joining us for another edition of KFFB's Open Mic program, the fifth and final program of Winter Weather Awareness Week. And we do have a warning coordination meteorologist with the National Weather Service, Dennis Cavanaugh, with us right now. And Dennis, today we're going to talk about the cold of winter. Share with us what that means.
Yeah, so, here in Arkansas, we just don't get cold that often. And I know cold is a relative thing, but when I'm talking about cold, I'm talking about several days of temperatures well below freezing, even when the high temperature doesn't get above freezing, for several days. That's a little bit harder to come by in Arkansas than other places, especially across the northern United States. But the problem is the northern United States, they're well adapted to having several days below freezing, and so their infrastructure, their plumbing, even their wardrobe choices, they're built for and they're made for handling those extended cold outbreaks. Here in Arkansas, a lot of times we don't have multiple layers of winter weather clothing, thermal underwear. I don't even know if that's a thing in Arkansas, but it certainly is up north. Having multiple layers, winter coats, hats and gloves. In Arkansas, they build homes. And usually they're building homes and more with heat in mind than it is with cold. And so a lot of times you have some exposed pipes outside, and water is one of those weird things where once it freezes, it actually expands. As that water expands, even if you have copper pipes, it can actually put holes in those pipes so that once the pipes are unfrozen, you actually have a big water leak, and you're not getting water or water pressure into your house. And so those can be some major issues that, we're just not prepared for in Arkansas because we don't see those below freezing temperatures very often. The other threat of cold weather is exposure. If you're outside and you're not dressed properly and you're not ready to be outside for a long period of time in below freezing temperatures, you can start to experience hypothermia or frostbite. Frostbite is basically just skin exposure to below freezing temperatures for a long period of time. Hypothermia means that your body, your body's metabolism can't keep you warm enough because it's, everything's just too cold around you. Either condition is dangerous, can be life-threatening, just something we're not always prepared here for in the South. Probably not going to get super cold. It hasn't happened in a long time. But if it does, check those resources. Make sure you have a pair of, really thick winter weather gloves, a hat, maybe earmuffs, a good scarf, even a face mask, if you can have them. Those are a lot more common now this year because of COVID, but you'd be looking for more of an insulator face mask than just a medical face mask. Basically, you want to reduce any exposure to your skin if you have to be outside to the winter, to the winter weather or to the cold weather. Anytime there's wind combined with cold weather, it makes it that much harder for your body's heat and metabolism to keep your body temperature up. And so that's what we call wind chill. Wind chill is basically the apparent temperature that your body experiences due to the combination of cold weather and wind. The wind essentially carries the heat away from your body, and so it makes the cold weather have an even greater impact on your body. And so, the cold of winter, a lot of times it's about protecting yourself, having those multiple layers of clothing, making sure you have minimal or no skin exposure if you're going to be outside. And with your house, if there's going to be a major cold outbreak, spend some time insulating those pipes. If you have any exposed pipes outdoors, you can get some pretty cheap insulating material. And heck, if it comes down to it, you can go out and buy a pool noodle, sort of slit it, cut it, and put it around those pipes and use electrical tape to tape it up. And that'll just help keep those pipes a little bit warmer. And if you can keep your water dripping, in your faucets, that also helps keep the water moving and makes it less likely to freeze in those pipes. And, simple things like sort of opening the cabinets below your faucets can also help keep that water warmer. So as it circulates through the pipes, it's less likely to freeze. Again, major cold outbreaks are kind of rare in Arkansas, but when they do happen, we tend to be underprepared because it doesn't happen every year. And so those are just things to keep in mind. If we're going to have a major cold outbreak, there's several things you want to do to protect yourself and your property to make it through that event.
And if people want to look up more of this information, you guys have a lot of great information on your Facebook page as well.
Yeah, we've got Facebook and on Twitter. And on our webpage, we have a website specifically designed for Winter Weather Awareness Week. And, if you go to our website, it's weather.gov/LZK, and then /WIN1A.htm. And that'll take you through a whole list of all of our safety tips, the explanation of watches and warnings and advisories. And we even have a cool video set up showing you what a snow squall looks like as it moves through Arkansas, that 2015 event. So there's a lot of good information on there. It's free. It's open to the public. They're all good resources to check out. You giving me the opportunity to talk to your listeners is amazing. I sincerely appreciate that opportunity. Our job in the Weather Service is to do whatever we can to keep people safe during hazardous weather. We can't force people to do things, but we can give people a heads up and try to provide safety tips so that they can get the resources they need to make it through a winter weather event. And I greatly appreciate all the time and effort that KFFB spends covering hazardous weather for north central Arkansas. You guys make a tremendous difference, and I just thank you so much for the opportunity to speak to your listeners throughout the week during this Winter Weather Awareness Week.
Well, we've been talking with Dennis Cavanaugh, Warning Coordination Meteorologist. It's Winter Weather Awareness Week. And again, thanks, Dennis, for joining us here on a special edition of Open Mic.
Yeah, thanks, Bob. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much.